Hello, I'm Leanne. I'm a light worker and mother to 3 special girls. I strive to continue learning, growing, and to collect new skills. I'm a psychic medium, Reiki master teacher, and an Akashic Records reader and healer. I am so excited to share what I've learned, what I'm going to learn, and the ups and downs of life. Thank you for joining me on my journey. Welcome to the Life of a Lightworker podcast. Hello, welcome. In this episode, I'm doing an Akashic Record reading and healing for someone, and I hope you enjoy. Do you have a general idea of what you want to work on today? Or do you want to just go and see what they have to say?
I would love to see what they have to say. What kind of came up when I saw some of your pre-recorded, like the recordings that you'd shared. It's something that has like always been a part of my life is anger, like from childhood. I don't know where it comes from. I would love to see if the records have anything to say about that, like why that's like my default emotion, I guess, or like my default response to a lot of things. And if they have anything to say about healing that part of my life in this life.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds like a good place to start.
Okay.
We'll go there first.
Sounds good.
All right. So I'm going to take a couple seconds. I'm just going to go in, and then when I start to receive information, I will just start talking. And then at any point you want to add something or ask something, just feel free to butt in.
Okay, sounds good.
And just to let you know, your door for your room at the moment looks like it's covered in moss. So that's kind of cool. Okay. Just something to make note of.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I just asked to see a life where this anger stems from or is rooted in. And I'm seeing an image of a cave, like a really deep cave. It's going far into, feels like it's a mountain. And you're walking in it. I just need to ask some questions. Okay, so you're a man in this life. It's really, really, really long time ago. It's caveman type days. And I see you in this cave, and I see you have a family in this cave. Like it's a really large family. And like I feel like you're the head of the family. Or maybe not necessarily the head, but I want to say your role is the protector in the family. And then it doesn't feel like necessarily you're in charge of decisions, but you're in charge of the safety of the people. And let's see where, like it feels like this anger is just really quick. Like when in that life, when you tapped into it, it was a lot faster, and you could get a response out of your body a lot quicker. So I want to just say, like, let's say if there was an animal or something about to attack somebody or another group of people, you were able to get into a fighting mode faster when you tapped into the anger. So it's just it was a tool that you used. I don't want to say like it wasn't a logical tool. It was just like what happened, it worked, so you just ran with it. And then I can kind of see like a line of different lives that this has affected, that it's kind of been something in the back that's been stuck to everybody, but maybe it isn't in the forefront, but when it gets accessed, it becomes very powerful. And there's been a lot of lives that have had this same thing, and it hasn't been, in some lives it was very beneficial, in other lives it was not beneficial. It feels like the lives that were male, it was beneficial, and the lives that were female, society-wise, was not beneficial. And it wasn't, and it's not something that has been, let's say, released or like disconnected, so therefore it just keeps going. Okay. Okay, so I just asked what we can do to help release the anger, and I got, oh, obviously we're gonna cut some cords, and it also feels like there needs to be some more distance. This is really funny. Like this very, yeah, this is my way for spirit. Like sometimes they bring similar clients at the same time, and then when they have the same issue, I'm just like, okay, this is weird. So this is the very same something earlier in the week was very similar to this. So it's just kind of like, okay. So like we need to slow down the time between from when the anger is provoked to when it's released. If we lengthen that time, lengthen that road, the pathway, then the energy will have time to disperse and not be so strong and violent at the end. Let's see. And they're showing me a wheel. Let me see what. It's kind of like the image that they're showing me is like a wheel with spokes. And then every time a spoke goes around, it just kind of slows down and releases the anger. That's the visual that they're sending me. Okay, so when I go in to do the healing, I'm going to use that visual to help with this meeting. So I'm going to go in, I'm going to work on the healing, and then as things come up during the healing, I'll just talk about it. So I cut the cord, I bubbled each of the lives and sent each of the lives light. And then I was working on the part of the head that's going to have the anger and slowing it down. And then I felt the need to call in the archangels, and they also showed me the pathway that we can fill it with like a kind of like a goo to help slow it down as well. So that's what I'm doing at the moment. Okay, and then they wanted me to use the color green to help bring in the heart and use the heart's strength to help power and support when that pathway gets brought on. Okay, and I was just asking, is there any other healing around this anger I need to address? And they're bringing up, like there's some family ties as well that mirror the same thing. So I need to cut some of the negative cords associated with that and then work on your root in order to complete that. Okay, and then the people that sent you the cords, it's not a not something intentional. It's just something that can happen when they're close to you. I can't heal them, but I bubbled them with light energy so that it doesn't affect you as much, so that like there's a bit of a barrier. And then if they subconsciously choose to accept it, they can accept the healing, but I can't, force anything on them. And then I asked what else might help you when you're feeling more angry, or when it's more likely that you might get angry. What can you do to help prevent or release it? I shouldn't say not prevent it. You want need to release it. And the first thing that popped in my head was water. And I feel grounding is really, really important to because it feels like the energy is bubbling up. And then when it gets to a certain point, it explodes, or it's just easier for that connection to happen so fast. So if you regularly ground and release your energy, it's like, it takes more to get to that point. And they're specifically saying water is very helpful for you. Okay, was there anything that popped up that you want to ask, or do you want me to go into a life that they want to show you?
That all, like, I had goosebumps when you were talking about the caveman times and how it was a tool to get a quick reaction, because that's exactly how I'm still using it in this life, and it's not serving me. So I can see now where that's coming from. And even just that awareness is huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't come from anything negative or bad. It just doesn't serve you anymore.
Right. Yeah, because we're not running from saber-toothed tigers.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, we've changed.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
that's exactly like I feel like I'm just stuck in that fight, flight,
Mhm.
freeze,
Mhm.
fawn, like that
Yeah, yeah.
stress response like all the time. And I just haven't known how to like get out of it at times.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, let me see if there's. So yeah, definitely the grounding, and then specifically water, but all
Mm-hmm.
grounding is going to be beneficial.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Let me see, is there anything? And they're showing me like a pen and paper. And let me see, is it feels like I'm having a hard time distinguishing if it's writing or like drawing,
Mm.
but that like doing something with that action helps release. It's
Yeah.
like I'm feeling like it's more towards writing. So when
Mm-hmm.
you're writing and when you can when you get into the flow where you can kind of turn your brain off a little bit and just
Mm-hmm. Yep.
go, when you practice enough to get to that point, then that's a really good release for you.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
that's really like, it feels like that when you do that, you get so much clarity, and it feels like an opening, and it feels like an expansion. It feels like it's when you're connected to source, so everything
Yeah.
flows and it's just clear, and it
Mm-hmm.
makes sense. And when you're in that state, if when you feel that flow, if you just reach out and ask in your head or out loud or even on paper, just ask for healing and for grounding and just all the little things that just pop into your head.
Mm-hmm.
The things that pop into your head, um, that's more important than anything that I might say, because
Mm-hmm.
in that moment, that's what you need.
Yeah.
Let's see. And I feel like when you're connecting, it feels like it's coming mostly from your solar plexus. That's a really, let me see. Yeah, it kind of feels like when you're writing, when you're connecting, you get a stronger sense of yourself, and
Mm-hmm.
that grows and it really supports and expands your solar plexus. And for you, that's a very important part of your intuition. So you're going to use that and listen to your solar plexus a lot more. So like
Okay.
anytime somebody says something, like some people use their gut or their heart or solar plexus as the kind of the main
Mm-hmm.
ones. For you, like listen to your solar plexus the most.
Okay.
That's going to be the one that's going to be the loudest for you.
Okay.
So just, pay attention.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I'll go into a life that they want to show you right now.
Sure.
Or would you prefer healing or just show you? Because sometimes they kind of blend together, but sometimes they'll get different things.
Um, Maybe just show me.
Okay.
If there's little bits of healing thrown in, that's
Yes,
okay too.
absolutely. Yes, that there usually is.
Yeah.
Let's just see. Okay, so the first thing they're showing me is like there's like a waterfall with like a lake underneath it, and I see lots of flowers around, and you're sitting in the grass around the flowers. Like I can see the flowers around your feet, and you're
Mm.
looking at the waterfall, and you're looking through the waterfall. You're not just looking at it, you're looking all the way through. Like you can see the rock, and you can see it almost feels like crystals, and just it feels like other people look at the waterfall and they just see the water, but you can see through it.
Mm.
You can see past it. You can see to the core of it. You can see to the, yeah, and it feels like that's the reference to people. Like you can
Mm.
see the inside of them. Um, it's like you take the time to look harder, and you take the time to fully see inside. You don't just see the facade on the outside. And You see the gems inside people that other people overlook. Yeah, and that was the main message.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a very special thing, and that's something you need to foster, and you need to appreciate that in yourself, and you need to acknowledge that. It doesn't matter how many other people can do this too. It's that you can do it, and that's really special. Yeah. It's not about like comparing yourself to other people. It's just acknowledging that you're really special. Yeah, you have a gift, and then you make it's like when you see the sparkle, you bring it out in people. So maybe they just feel like a rock, but you help them feel like they shine, like they sparkle. And that shining, it just like it carries on, and other people feel that sparkle, and it just like it's so expansive. I can just feel like it just rippling out, and it's just like it's so big. It's so big. It's so big. Like I got like shivers everywhere. And like yeah, it was like head to toe. Like it's like it's yeah, it's a really, really special gift. I love it. It's amazing. Um, and I just asked, how can you use this gift? And it's just like I just saw an image of you like looking someone in the eyes, and just like when people look at you and you look at them, they can tell that you see them. You don't just see what they're putting out, but you see them, you see their soul. And that acknowledgement, it feels really rare, and it makes them feel special. And it just, yeah, it's really awesome. You see how cute. Yeah, and I think I asked like, how can you share this more? And it was a pretty simple response. It was just like, don't shut yourself off, don't shut yourself in. You need to touch as many people as you can. You don't have to, I'm not saying deplete yourself. I'm just saying, just for moments, just touch people's lives for a moment, and that is enough. You don't need to spend a month with somebody. You can spend minutes with somebody, and you can light them up. It's a very quick response because you see so deeply so quickly. So that kind of feels like it's going on to like a life path, like purpose type thing, like what's going on. Do you have any questions you want to ask while I'm in this kind of mode?
That was beautiful. I don't have any questions. It was just really lovely.
Well, from my seeing it, it was lovely. It was beautiful. Let me see what else. Yeah, and then I just asked what else would they like to share or tell you, and it was just shine bright. Yeah, just shine. I just feel like just letting go, releasing, and just kind of like I don't care what other people think. I don't care about all this stuff. I'm just going to be me, and by being you, you affect others, and it just you are very bright. Yeah. And then like I just keep asking like, what else would you like to say? And then it was just the reminder that like you need to ground, because the more you ground, the more you can shine. Because when you ground, you not only release the energy that's not good, but you also bring in the energy from the earth, and that really supports you, and it can really help you be the best person you want to be. And then I just asked more ways, like what are some other good ways to ground when you're not around water? And then crystals are really good for you. And animals are really good for you too. So Do you have anything to add, or should I go into another one?
No, I don't have anything to add to that.
Okay, awesome. I'll go into what needs to be healed.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay, so first, I just got the image of a foot. Uh, let's see where that goes. Oh, it feels like in a past life you had an issue with your foot. It feels like it was like a club foot.
Okay.
Let's see. It feels like maybe it was your right.
Mm.
I'm not 100% sure on that
Mm-hmm.
part. Let's see. Like, and obviously you had a limp, and because of the time that this happened, it felt like a very big disability because it slowed you down a lot and prevented you from fully contributing to your family and your community. You felt like a burden. Yeah, it felt like you were just slowing everybody down, slowing everything down. And then I can see later on there was an accident and you passed away due to this accident, but you weren't quite yet. You were a little bit older, I want to say like 20s, 30s.
Mm.
Um, it wasn't super early compared to that time frame, but it was a freak accident type, maybe like it was like a farm accident, wagon type accident.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and partially due to not being able to move quick enough or move out of the way. And it feels like the way that's connected to now is you have this drive to do more, to like move faster, do more, be better, just like, and like it feels like you're trying to make up for lost time or try to contribute more because you just have this feeling that you're not contributing enough.
Mm.
And that's not true in this life. It's just that belief that's left over from the other life. So
Mm-hmm.
I will cut the cords, do some healings on that life, and then on you to kind of close it off.
Okay.
I just want to say that in that life, you were very kind. I
Mm-hmm.
can feel a lot of kindness. You're very, very giving. And it feels like that's connected to your heart and solar plexus in this life. Like it just kind of goes right in between. And then I feel the need to say, like, you're enough. You you give by just being and by loving, being around the people you love and loving them. You don't need to do all the things for them because being in your presence is more than enough. And when you give less, you actually are able to, like, your reserve is up and you're able to give
Mm-hmm.
just more of the love and you're able to shine the love more. And when you make that transition, they're going to feel like, because they're going to feel the love. They're not going to feel the love through the things, but through just the energy you're emitting.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll, like, I keep hearing like taking time for yourself, but when you aren't giving so much of your time to other people in those just doing things for people, you're going to be able to find the time to do the stuff for yourself. And that's
Mm-hmm.
when you make that shift, that's going to help that a lot. And then that's going to support your solar plexus. And then it's going to help grow into the heart. And then you're going to be able to shine your love, your presence
Mm-hmm.
on the people around you. And just, yeah. And just like the energy you make, like you're shiny, you're bright, like it just goes out. It just feels cheesy where it's like, your gifts, like giving gifts isn't the gift they want, it's the gift of your presence. So it just,
Mm-hmm.
and then it's taking me to your root where it's like part of that is just expectations from what people have done in the past that you just give and give and give and give and give,
Mm-hmm.
especially being a woman. It feels very tied into that. And I'm just going to do some healing on your root for that. And sacral a little bit too. It's kind of connected. And then I kind of feel like there's two paths that's showing me on the route where it's like there's the path of what you're expected to do, what people have done in the past, or what is expected, that sort of thing. And then
Mm-hmm.
there's the path of what you want. And then I feel like there's there's a fork and you could go either way. and I'm just sending energy down the path of the expectations, and then kind of giving you a push through, pushing the energy through the path of where you want to go, and just kind of charging it up a little bit. That's what's asking me to do. And it feels like those expectations aren't going to go away. They're not really settling down as I'm doing healing on them. So it's more from your end a block. You need to protect yourself from that energy, because it's not going to die down. So you have to almost expect that it's there, and then put up your protection to help shield you. And know that when you feel that expectation, it's not you, it's not yours, it's somebody else's. You can direct it away. Like when you have the mental shift of, this isn't mine, this is from my mom, this is from my grandma, or whatever, and then say, I choose to do this. This is how I choose to live.
I was just able to take a really deep breath when you said that it's not mine, it's somebody else's. Like instantly this weight was lifted off my chest.
It's not yours. You carry a lot of energy and a lot of weight that's not yours. And for you, I feel that it's not just thinking it, saying it. Like thinking it will help, but saying it will get the good, like it gets the breath, and then like you'll be a much better, it'll be more effective. Like if you feel it in a place where you can't speak, say it in your head quite a few times. If you can do it out loud, you're not going to need to do it as many times. And do you do like a shielding sort of exercise or anything like that?
I should. I don't regularly, but I feel like I need to. I feel like that would help with the grounding.
Yes.
If I were to do it regularly.
Okay. So typically people like to use the bubble of light, but for you, because I feel so much expectations coming at you, I think a mirror, so you have the bubble of light, but then also around it put a bubble of mirror, or a ball of mirror. And then just have the intention that the energy that hits it just bounces off.
I like that.
And then you can see out, you can give energy. It's just a one-way mirror. And just make sure you're fully in it, like top to bottom, when you visualize that. And then if you forget to do it and you start to notice it, you just go like, nope, back up, and then put your bubble up. And then also bring your heart in. I'm hearing that too. So like when you're out and you kind of feel energy, just kind of imagine your heart is like here, and you're just going to bring it in small, and then put the bubble up.
Okay.
Do you ever, when you're in public, do you ever get like lightheaded or like dizzy, or like just kind of like maybe anxious or like overwhelmed?
All the time.
Okay, so this is gonna,
when there's like lots of people or lots of noise. Yeah,
that's definitely going to help. You need to bring your heart in. It's very important. And you should notice within like a minute after you do it that it's just like you can just breathe a little bit. And then keep repeating it. This is not mine. Because all this energy you're feeling, it's not yours. It's other people's energy. Like you're an empath. Like you hold on, you pick all this stuff up. So you need to acknowledge it's not yours too. That will help release it. And obviously, if you can shield before you go out, that's better. But you forget. Life's busy.
And
I'm just scanning your body at the moment. Your ears are a little bit blocked. You just need to listen to your intuition a little bit more. I think you already know that. You're very intuitive. You just need to acknowledge it more. Even if, let's say, you don't listen to it, still acknowledge it. Be like, I know you're saying this. Okay, and then the other ones feel pretty good. We've worked on a few chakras, and they're flowing a lot faster. Okay, so for the final thing, do you have a question that popped up that you want to look into, or a fear that you want to look into, or should I just ask what they want to show you?
Nothing off the top of my head.
All right. Okay, so I got right away, I saw a mountain that was snow-covered topped mountain. And I see like a bunch of mountains around it, but they're like, this one mountain is really tall. It's like feels like it's reaching the sky.
Mhm.
And it feels like it's really cold because it's reaching the sky. And I feel like this mountain is you, where it's like you can reach so high, but it feels cold and it feels lonely when you get so high.
Mhm.
So sometimes you feel like you should sink down in order to be more comfortable. And it's really just like, it feels like it's just crushing your soul. Like it's just like squeezing it into a little ball and like making it try to fit into this tiny little mountain. What it needs a big mountain to fit. And you, it feels like you need to stop dimming and stop hiding and stop making yourself smaller. You need to be the big mountain because your soul will fill up that whole mountain. And at the very beginning, it feels like maybe the temperature will be cold, but your soul generates a lot of heat and it will melt the tops and it will feel warm and it will feel lovely. It's just that the first steps into there feel a little cold. So I think that's a self-explanatory metaphor.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. That resonates.
Yeah, yeah, and I was just like, well, is there anything like, could you put a blanket on the mountain? Like, what could make it warmer? And they're like, no, like you don't need it. The cold is very temporary, and as long as you stay in the cold long enough, it will go away. It's not something that's if you're fully in it, it's not gonna last very long. If you're halfway in it, it's gonna last a long time and it's gonna be cold for a long time. But when you're fully in it, it's not gonna be cold for long.
Okay.
Okay, so I just asked, like, how can you feel the mountain? Like, what are some steps you could take to do this? And like, it feels like this is gonna feel obvious. You need to listen to your intuition more, to protect yourself from all the other outside energies so that you know what energy is yours and what energy is other people's energy. Because when you can distinguish between yours and other people's energies, then you'll be able to read other people's energies. You'll be able to connect to things. You'll be able to do a lot more than when you're just bombarded and you can't distinguish between things. You just need to be able to sort it out. And just doing this little steps of what's mine, what's not mine is a really good first step. Yeah, and it's just bringing me back to the notepad, because when you're writing, like, and you just like you start channeling and you start just connecting and things start to make sense. And the more you do that, the more you can speak it, and the more you speak it, the more that you can grow, and the more that you're going to light up, and the more that you can be shinier and see you. And then it's just going to like carry on and on and on. It's just, it feels like when you feel these little nudges to go a certain direction, instead of being, because it can feel scary having these feelings of I should do this or maybe this or that, but then your brain's like, no, that doesn't make sense. Just taking a leap of faith, just once, the first one, taking the leap of faith, and then you'll realize that the universe has you. And then you'll have the trust to make the next step. And then each step will get easier and easier and easier because you know what has happened in the past is that they have you. And everything that they ask you to do, there is a beneficial reason. It doesn't, it's hard to see. It's not only, sometimes it's hard, not only hard to see, but we're not supposed to see.
Right.
The point is that we're supposed to just do it and listen to our soul tell us to do it, not question it and try to control it. It's the control.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Like trying to like let it happen without controlling the outcome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because when you control the outcome, it dims the view of what is possible. If you just take a step and close your eyes, the possibilities are endless. but closing your eyes is damn
That's the
scary.
scary part. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the scary part. So doing a little one is going to help, and doing all the little things like the writing and stuff, it just kind of builds you.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Do you have any questions?
No, that was amazing. Like all of the imagery was just spot on with things that like fill me,
Oh,
like the
that's
mountains
awesome.
and the flowers and the waterfalls and the moss. Like it's all bang on.
Oh,
So
that's
it was really
awesome.
cool. That was really cool.
I'm really glad it resonated with you.
Absolutely.
That was a 45-minute session that I cut the silent, quiet healing time out of just for this podcast. And I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, please let me know. You can contact me on Instagram, and it's Spruce Energy Healing, all one word. And my website is www.spruceenergyhealing.com. And you can also email me, spruceenergyhealing@yahoo.com. Have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for listening.